Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of Enoch 3. I'm going to carry on from where I left off before. So here we go, it's chapter 17. Princes of the seven heavens, of the sun, the moon, planets, constellations, their suits of angels. Ishmael said, Metatron the angel, prince of the presence, glory of all heaven, said to me, 7 are the princes, the great, beautiful, revered, wonderful, and honoured ones, who are appointed over the 7 heavens. And these are they, Michael, Gabriel, Shatkiel, Bacariel, Badariel, Patriel, and every one of them is the prince of the host of one heaven, and each one of them is accompanied by 496,000 myriads of ministering angels. Michael, the great voice, is appointed over the 7th heaven, the highest one, which is in the Araboth. Gabriel, the prince of the host, is appointed over the 6th heaven, which is in Macon. Shatakael, the prince of the host, is appointed over the 5th heaven, which is in Maon. Shahakiel, the prince of the host, is appointed over the 4th heaven, which is in Zebul. Bad Ariel, prince of the host, is appointed over the 3rd heaven, which is in Shehakim. Barakiel, prince of the host, is appointed over the 2nd heaven, which is the height of Mermon, Rakia. Pasriel, prince of the host, is appointed over the 1st heaven, which is in Willon, which is in Shamayim. Under them is Galgaliel, the prince who is appointed over the globe, Galgal of the sun, and with him are 96 great and honoured angels who move with the sun in Rakia. Under them is Aphaniel, the prince who is set over the globe, the Ophari of the moon, and with him are the 88 angels who move the globe of the moon 354,000 parasangs every night at the time when the moon stands in the east at its turning point, and when the moon is sitting on the east at its turning point, answer, in the 15th day of every month. Excuse me. Under them is Rahatiel, the prince who is appointed over the constellations, and he is accompanied by 72 great and honoured angels. And why he is called Rahatiel? Because he makes the stars run in their orbits, and the course is 339,000 parasangs every night from east to the west, and from the west to the east. For the Holy One, blessed be He, has made a tent for all of them, for the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars in which they travel at night, from west to east. Under them is Kokbaal, the prince who is appointed over all the planets, and with him are the 365,000 myriads of ministering angels, great and honoured ones, who move the planets from city to city, and from province to province, in the Rakia of heavens. And over them are 72 princes of kingdoms on high, corresponding to the 72 tongues of the world. And all of them are crowned with royal crowns, and clad in royal garment, and wrapped in royal cloaks. And all of them are riding on royal horses, and all holding royal sceptres in their hands. And before each one of them, when he is travelling in Rakia, royal servants are running with great glory and majesty, even as on earth the princes are travelling with chariots, with horsemen, great armies, and in glory and greatness, with praise, song, and honour. Chapter 18. The order of ranks of the angels, and the homage received by the higher ranks and from the lower ones. Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, prince of presence, the glory of all heaven, said to me, the angels of the 1st heaven, whenever they see their prince, they dismount from their horses and fall on their faces. And the prince of the 1st heaven, whenever he sees the prince of the 2nd heaven, he dismounts, removes the crown of glory from his head, and falls on his face. And the prince of the 2nd heaven, when he sees the prince of the 3rd heaven, he removes the crown of glory from his head, and falls on his face. And the prince of the 3rd heaven, when he sees the prince of the 4th heaven, he removes the crown of glory from his head, and falls on his face. The prince of the 4th heaven, when he sees the prince of the 5th heaven, removes the crown of glory from his head, and falls on his face. Goes on and on. And even on the sixth heaven, when he sees the prince of the seventh heaven, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. The prince of the seventh heaven, when he sees the 72 princes of kingdoms, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And the 72 princes of kingdoms, when they see the doorkeepers of the first hall in the Araboth Rakia, in the highest, they remove the royal crown from their head and fall on their faces. The doorkeepers of the first hall, when they see the doorkeepers of the second hall, they remove the crown of glory from their head and fall on their faces. And so undo each. And the doorkeepers of the sixth hall, when they see the doorkeepers of the seventh hall, they remove the crown of glory from their head and fall on their faces. The doorkeepers of the seventh hall, when they see the four great princes, the honoured ones, who are appointed over 4 camps of Shekinah, they remove the crowns of glory from their head and fall on their faces. And the 4 great princes, when they see Tagaz, the prince of the great and honoured with song and praise, at the head of all the children of heaven, they remove the crown of glory from their head and fall on their faces. And Tagaz, as the great and honoured prince, when he sees Baratiel, the great prince of the fingers of the height of Araboth, in the highest heaven, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Baratiel, the great prince, when he sees Hammon, the great prince, the fearful and honoured, the pleasant and terrible one who maketh all the children of heaven to tremble when the time draweth nigh, that is set for the saying of the thrice holy, and it is written, at the noise of the tumult, the peoples are fled, and the lifting up of thyself, thy nations are scattered. He removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Hammon, the great prince, when he sees Tetresiel, the great prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Tetresiel, the great prince, when he sees Atriguel, the great prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. The Atriguel, the great prince, when he sees Naariel, the great prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Naariel, the great prince, when he sees Saznigiel, the great prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Saznigiel, when he sees Zazriel, the great prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Zazriel, the prince, when he sees Gebaretiel, the prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Garabutiel, the prince, when he sees Arathiel, the prince, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Arathiel, the prince, when he sees Ashurilu, the prince, who resides in all the sessions of the children of heaven, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Ashurilu, the prince, when he sees Galisur, the prince, who reveals all the secrets of the law of the Torah, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Galisur, the prince, when he sees Zachiel, the prince who is appointed to write down all the merits of Israel on the throne of glory, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. And Zachiel, the great prince, when he sees Anaphiel, the prince who keeps the keys of the heavenly halls, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. Why is he called by the name of Anaphiel? Because the bow of his honour and majesty, and his crown and his splendour, and his brilliance covers and overshadows all the chambers of Araboth Rakia on high, even as the Maker of the world does overshadow them, just as it is written with regard to the Maker of the world. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. Even so do the honour and the majesty of Anaphiel cover the glories of Araboth the highest. And when he sees Sotha Ashiel, the prince of the great, fearful and honoured one, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. Why is he called Sotha Ashiel? Because he is appointed over the 4 heads of the fiery river, over against the throne of glory, and every single prince who goes out or enters before the Shekinah, goes out or enters only by his permission. For the seals of the fiery river are entrusted to him, and furthermore his height is 7,000 myriads of parasangs, and he stirs up the fire of the river, and he goes out and enters before the Shekinah to expound what is recorded concerning the inhabitants of the world. According as it is written, the judgment was set and the books were opened. And Sophar, as the elder prince, when he sees Shaked, Chosi, the great prince, the mighty, terrible and honoured one, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls upon his face. And why is he called Shaked, Chosi? Because he weighs all the merits of man in balance in the presence of the Holy One, blessed be he. When he sees Zenapariu, the great prince, the mighty and terrible one, honoured, glorified and feared in all the heavenly household, he removes the crown of glory from his head, falls on his face. Why is he called Sehanpariu? Because he rebukes the fiery river and pushes it back to its place. When he sees Azbukar, the great prince, glorified, revered, honoured, adorned, wonderful, exalted, beloved and feared among all the great princes who know the mystery of the throne of glory, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls on his face. Why is he called Azbuga? Because in the future he will gird the righteous and the pious of the world with the garments of life, and wrap them in the cloak of life, that they may live in them an eternal life. When he sees the two great princes, the strong and glorified ones who are standing above him, he removes the crown of glory from his head and falls upon his face. And these are the names of the two princes. Saphariel, whom killeth, the great prince, the honoured, glorified, blameless, venerable, ancient and mighty one. And Saphariel, who maketh alive, the great prince, the honoured, the glorified, the blameless, ancient and mighty one. Why is he called Saphariel, who killeth? Because he is appointed over the books of the dead, so that everyone, when the day of his death draws nigh, he writes him in the books of the dead. And why is he called Saphariel, who maketh alive? Because he is appointed over the books of living, so that everyone whom the Holy One, blessed be he will bring into life, he writes him into the book of the living, by authority of Makom. Thou might perhaps say, since the Holy One, blessed be he, is sitting on a throne, thou art sitting when writing. The Scripture teaches us, all the hosts of heaven are standing by him. The hosts of heaven, as it is said, in order to show us that even the great princes, none like whom there is in the high heavens, do not fulfil the request of the Shekinah, otherwise than standing. But how is it possible that they are able to write when they are standing? It's like this. One is standing on the wheels of the tempest, and the other is standing on the wheels of the storm wind. The one is clad in kingly garments, and the other is clad in kingly garments. The one is wrapped in a mantle of majesty, and the other is wrapped in a mantle of majesty. The one is crowned with a royal crown, the other is crowned with a royal crown. The one's body is full of eyes, the other body is full of eyes. The appearance of the one is like unto the appearance of lightnings, and the appearance of the other is like unto the appearance of lightnings. The eyes of one are like unto the sun in its might, and the eyes of the other are like the sun into its might. The height is like unto the height of the seven heavens, and the other's height is like unto the height of the seven heavens. The wings of the one are as many as the days of the year. The wings of the other are as many as the days of the year. The wings of one extend over the breadth of Rakia, and the wings of the other extend over the breadth of Rakia. The lips of one are as the gates of the east, and the lips of the other as the gates of the east. The tongue of one is as high as the waves of the sea, and the tongue of the other is as high as the waves of the sea. From the mouth of the one flames go forth, and from the mouth of the other flames go forth. From the mouth of the one there go forth lightnings, from the mouth of the other there go forth lightnings. From the sweat of one fire is kindled, and from the perspiration of the other fire is kindled. From the one's tongue in a torch is burning, and from the tongue of the other a torch is burning. On the head of the one there is a sapphire stone, upon the head of the other there is a sapphire stone. On the shoulders of the one there is a wheel of a swift cherub, and on the shoulders of the other there is a wheel of a swift cherub. One has in his hand a burning scroll, the other has in his hand a burning scroll. One has in his hand a flaming style, the other has in his hand a flaming style. The length of the scroll is 3,000 myriads of parasangs. The size of the style is 3,000 myriads of parasangs. The size of every single letter that they write is 365 parasangs. Chapter 19. Rigbiel, the prince of the wheels of the macabre, the surroundings of the macabre, the commotion among the angelic hosts at the time of Kedusha. Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of the present, said to me, above two, these three angels, these great princes, is one prince, distinguished, honourable, glorified, adorned, fearful, valiant, strong, great, magnified, glorious, crowned, wonderful, exalted, blameless, beloved, lordly, high and lofty, ancient and mighty, like unto whom there is none among the princes. His name is Rigbiel, the great and revered prince who is standing by the macabre. Why is he called Rigbiel? Because he is appointed over the four wheels of the macabre, and are given in his charge. And how many are the wheels? 8, 2 in each direction, and there are 4 winds compassing them round about. And these are their names: storm wind, the tempest, the strong wind, and the wind of earthquake. And under them 4 fiery rivers are continually running, 1 fiery river on each side, and round about them, between the rivers, 4 clouds are planted, and these are the clouds of fire, the clouds of lamps, the clouds of coal, and the clouds of brimstone. They are standing over against the wheels. And at the feet of the Cherubim are resting upon the wheels, and between one wheel and upon the other, earthquake is roaring, and thunder is thundering. When the time draws nigh of the recital of the song, then the multitudes of wheels are moved, and the multitudes of clouds tremble, and all the chieftains are made afraid, all the horsemen do rage, all the mighty ones are excited, all the hosts are affrighted, all the troops are in fear, all the appointed ones haste away, all the princes and armies are dismayed, all the servants do faint, and the angels and divisions travail with pain. One wheel makes a sound to be heard to the other, and one cherub to the other, one chair to the other, one seraph to the other, saying, Extol to him that rideth in Araboth, by his name Jah, and rejoice before him. Yah, and rejoice before him. Chapter 20. Chalael, the prince of Chaoth. Ishmael, the son of Metatron, the angel, the prince of the present, said to me, above these there is one great and mighty prince, his name Chalael, a noble and revered prince, a glorious and mighty prince, a revered and great prince, a prince before whom all the children of heaven do tremble, a prince who is able to swallow up the whole earth in one moment, at a mouthful. Why is he called Chalael? Because he is appointed over the holy Chaoth, and smites the Chaoth with lashes of fire, glorifies them when they give praise and glory, and rejoices when he causes them to make haste to say, Holy, and blessed be the glory of he from from his place, i.e. the Kadesh. Chapter 21. The Chaoth, Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of the present, said to me, 4 are the Chaoth corresponding to the 4 winds. Each chair is the space of the whole world, and each one has 4 faces, and each face is at the face of the east. Each one has 4 wings, and each wing is like the cover of the universe. And each one has faces in the middle of the faces, and wings in the middle of the wings. And the size of the faces is as of the size of 248 faces, and the size of the wings is as of 365 wings. And everyone is crowned with 2,000 crowns on his head, and each crown is like unto a bow in the cloud. Its splendour is like unto the splendour of the globe of the sun, and the sparks that go forth from everyone are like the splendour of the morning star, planet Venus, in the east. Cherubim, prince of the Chembim, description of the cherubim. Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of the present, said to me, Above these there is one prince, noble, wonderful, strong, and praised with all kinds of praise. His name is Cherubim, a mighty prince, full of power and strength, a prince of highness, and highness with him, righteous prince, and righteousness with him, a holy prince, and holiness with him, prince glorified in 1,000 hosts, exalted by 10,000 armies. In his wrath the earth trembles, at his anger the camps are moved. At his anger the camps are moved. From fear of him the foundations are shaken. At his rebuke the Arabah do tremble. His stature is full of burning coals. His height of his stature is as the height of the 7 heavens. The breadth of his stature is the wideness of the 7 heavens. And the thickness of his stature is as of the 7 heavens. Opening of his mouth is like a lamp of fire. His tongue is a consuming fire. His eyebrows are like unto the splendour of lightning. His eyes are like sparks of brilliance. His countenance is like a burning fire. And there is a crown of holiness upon his head, in which the crown's explicit name is graven. Lightnings go forth from it. The bow of Shekinah is between his shoulders. And the sword is like unto lightning, and upon his loins are the arrows like unto flame. And upon his armour is a shield, there is a consuming fire. And upon his neck there are coals of burning juniper, and also round about him there are coals of burning juniper. And the splendour of the Shekinah is on his face, and the horns of majesty on his wheels, and a royal diadem upon his skull. And his body is full of eyes, and his wings are covered the whole of his high stature. The height of his stature is all wings. On his right hand a flame is burning, and on his left a fire is glowing, and coals are burning from it. And firebrands go forth from his body, and lightnings are cast from his face. With him there is always thunder in thunder, and by his side there is ever earthquake in earthquake. And the 2 princes of the macabre are together with him. Why is he called Cherubim, the prince? Because he is appointed over the chariot of the cherubim, and the mighty cherubim are given in his charge, and he adorns the crowns of their heads, and polishes the diadem upon their skull. He magnifies the glory of their appearance, and he glorifies the beauty of their majesty. He increases the greatness of their honour. He causes the song of their praise to be sung. He intensifies their beautiful strength. He causes the brilliance of their glory to shine forth. He beautifies their goodly mercy and loving kindness. He frames the fairness of their radiance. He makes their merciful beauty even more beautiful. He glorifies their upright majesty. He extols the order of their praise, to establish the dwelling place of him who dwelleth on the cherubim. The cherubim are standing by the holy Cheoff. Their wings are upraised to their heads, the height of their heads. Shekinah is resting upon them, and the brilliance thereof, the glory is upon their faces, the song of praise in their mouth. And their hands are under their wings, and their feet are covered by their wings. The horns of glory are upon their heads. And the splendour of the Shekinah are on their face, and Shekinah is resting upon them, and sapphire stones are round about them, and the columns of fire in the 4 sides, and the columns of firebrands beside them. There is one sapphire on one side, and another sapphire on the other side. And under the sapphires there are coals of burning juniper. And one cherub is standing in each direction, but the wings of the cherubim encompass each other above their skulls in glory. They spread them to sing them with song to him that inhabiteth the clouds, to praise them with the fearful majesty of the King of Kings. And the cherub yell, the prince who is appointed over them, he arrays them in comely, beautiful, and pleasant orders, and he exalts them in all manner of exaltation, dignity, and glory. He hastens them in glory and might to do the will of the Creator of every moment. For above their lofty heads abides continually the glory of the High King, who dwelleth in the cherubim. Chapter 22. And there is a court before the throne of glory, which no seraph nor angel can enter, and it is 36,000 myriads of parasangs, as it is written, and the seraphim are standing above him. The last word of the scriptural passage being as the numerical value of Lamech Vav, the number of the bridges there. And there are 24 myriads of wheels of fire, and the ministering angels are 12,000 myriads. And there are 12,000 rivers of hail, and 12,000 treasuries of snow, In the 7 halls are chariots of fire and flames, without reckoning or end of searching. Ishmael said to me, Metatron the angel, the prince of the presence, said to me, how are the angels standing on high? He said, like a bridge that is placed over a river, so that everyone can pass over it. Likewise, a bridge is placed from the beginning of the entry to the end. And 3 ministering angels surrounding it and utter a song before Yahweh, the God of Israel. And they are standing before it, lords of dread and captains of fear, thousands times thousands, 10,000s times 10,000 in number, and they sing praise and hymns before Yahweh, the God of Israel. Numerous bridges are there, bridges of fire, numerous bridges of hail, also rivers of hail, rivers treasuries of snow, and numerous wheels of fire. And how many ministering angels? 12,000 myriads, 6,000 myriads above, 6,000 myriads below. 12,000 are the treasuries of snow, 6 above, 6 below. Excuse me. 24 myriads of wheels of fire, 12 above, 12 below. And they surrounding the bridges of the rivers of fire and the rivers of hail. There are numerous ministering angels forming entries for all creatures that are standing in the midst thereof, corresponding to the paths of the Rakia Shamayim. What does Yahweh, the God of Israel, the King of glory, the great and fearful God, mighty in strength, does cover his face? In Araboth there are 660,000 myriads of angels of glory standing over against the throne of glory, and the divisions of flame and fire. And the King of glory doth cover his face, for else the Araboth Rakia one would be rent asunder, and its mist because of the majesty, splendour, beauty, radiance, loveliness, brilliance, brightness, and excellency, and the appearance of the Holy One, blessed be he. There are numerous ministering angels performing his will, numerous kings, numerous princes, in the Araboth of his delight, angels who are revered among the rulers in heaven, distinguished, adorned with song and bringing love to remembrance, who are affrighted by the splendour of the Shekinah. Their eyes are dazzled by the shining beauty of their king. Their faces grow black, and their strength do fail. They go forth rivers of joy, streams of gladness, rivers of rejoicing, streams of triumph, rivers of love, streams of friendship, another reading, of commotion, and they flow over and go forth before the throne of glory, and wax great and go forth the gates of the paths of Araboth Rakia, at the voice of the shouting of the music of the Chayoth, at the voice of the rejoicing of the timbrels of the Ophanim, the melody of the cymbals of his cherubim. And they wax great and go forth with commotion and with the sound of the hymn, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and the whole earth is full of his glory. So, video's going to cut out soon, so this will be the end of part 2. Looks like we're nearly halfway down, so there might be 2 or 3 more parts to go. I'll do them when I can. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. God bless.